I'm out of words for an English teacher. I'm at a loss for words there. What you're about to see is the second half of a lengthy interview that Max Carlisle, Guitar Max, was kind enough to do for me. And in the first half of the interview, we talked about music, especially careers in music. In the second half, well, Max is also a bodybuilder, and that is what this discussion is about. It's mostly about bodybuilding and subjects related thereto. Now, there's a little bit of repetition, especially right at the beginning and some at the end, but otherwise it's all different content from the other interview, the previous one done with Max. So here you go, the second interview with guitar Max Carlisle. I hope you like it. Max, thank you very much.
Hey, no problem. I'm happy to be here.
So it's obvious that you're into bodybuilding. Yeah, and on your website, a lot of pictures of you in earlier competitions. There's so much bodybuilding info on the web. If all the bodybuilding information, whether it's good information or not, were somehow physical and put into one place, I think it would make a tremendous gravity well because there's so much of it. So
Sure.
my question for you is: do you gravitate toward a particular? I don't know if philosophy is the right word. Are there bodybuilding hypotheses that you
Right.
gravitate toward? Are you a heavy weights, low reps guy, or medium weights, lots of reps, or do you mix it up?
I can't say I have one particular philosophy that I always go to, but I do find myself when I'm in doubt, I always go back to the basics, the very sort of fundamental exercises. And like right now is a good example because, I took like 6 months off from the gym because of my arm injury. The stuff I'm doing now is the tradition, back, squats, back traditional, free
Yeah.
weight squats, bench press, dumbbell curls, dumbbell shoulder press, deadlifts, things like that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I've got the same issue actually. Yeah. Um, that, stuff like that. So I always, like heavy compound movements,
Mhm.
is what I really always enjoy doing. And I think that's what I respond to the best also. And
Okay.
that's not to say that there isn't a place for, kneeling on a ball and balancing a kettlebell on your finger or something like that. I mean, it's good to do new exercises because of course you get adapted to
Right.
exercises and that kind of stuff. So it's good to do new things. But I'm definitely more of a kind of an old school kind of guy. That was one of the, I'm from Seattle, Washington originally, and I live in
Oh,
Los Angeles now. And one of the reasons I came down here was I was like, I watched Pumping Iron 100 times. And I said, I'm going to go down to Venice Beach, man, and I'm going to train at the gym. And I'm just going to be one of those guys. And that's the life I want to live. And I can't say that that exactly happened, but that was the sort of, I guess, school of thought that I kind of came from.
okay. Just speaking just for myself, I'm always gratified to hear someone say that, in the end, they always come back to the heavy compound movements like the deadlift
Yeah.
and the squat. Those are my go-tos as well.
Oh, well, I mean, thanks. I mean, obviously bodybuilding, I think you probably agree, but one of the best things about bodybuilding is that you're never quite finished.
Right.
You're always, there's always something that you can do it with better form, or you can get a heavier weight or more reps. There's always something that you can still reach for. And so, I don't know, I did a bunch of competitions in my 20s, and maybe I will again at some point. Maybe not, but you know, that feeling of that I'm always going to, I always have something that I can, a goal that I can work towards is such a great thing. So
One of the things that I see folks say about bodybuilding is that when you're in the gym, that's where you are, and that's what you're doing. Nothing else. No matter what, pardon my language, no matter what shit is happening in your life outside, that squat rack and those dumbbells and so forth are always there. So that's I mean, I go into the gym and even if the workout doesn't go very well, I almost always leave the gym in a better mood than when I got there. You know, I
Sure.
don't know if it's just because of endorphins or if it's because I get a chance to go in and not think about anything except what's in front of me. Do you have that experience?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a meditative quality to working out and
Well
going to the
put.
gym. And I think that I mean, the best workout can completely transform your day. Like you can go into the gym in a really bad mood, have a great workout, and you feel like $1,000,000 when you step out the door. You know,
Mm.
those are the best workouts. But yeah, I think anytime, any workout, even a bad workout, you know, still kind of elevates you a little bit.
In at least one of your videos earlier this year, you had injured one of your arms. Did that happen while you were training, or would you like to talk about that a little bit? I mean, because you know anybody who's into
Sure.
strength training and bodybuilding, injuries are a big thing, right? We've
Yeah.
all got something injured all the time. So yeah.
Sure. I mean, it was a classic thing in that I did not injure myself in the gym. I injured myself with just a stupid accident. I was moving some furniture and I tore my left bicep tendon
Oh shoot.
at the elbow, right? You know,
Man.
you can tear it at the shoulder or the elbow. I tore it at the elbow and it was a complete tear. It tore totally off the bone.
Oh my God. Did it roll up and you have that Popeye sort of look?
It it didn't completely roll up, and they tell me it was, you know, because I've worked out for so long. They told me that the other muscles in the arm sort of kind of held it in place.
Okay.
But
That's good.
I was in a position, I was carrying something kind of like this, where my left arm was stretched out. So my left arm is down and stretched out. So it's carrying all the weight and it's stretched.
Wow.
And I was carrying this thing and I saw it happen. So I saw this like stuff like moving under my skin as it tore, you know,
Oh.
and it made this really nasty Velcro sound. So
Oh my.
yeah. And it
Oh,
was at 3 o'clock in the morning. I won't go into the whole thing, but it was just the worst possible timing. But just from, you know, from being in the gym and, you know, talking to people and bro science, that kind of thing, I knew right away what had happened. I'm like, okay, like I just tore, you know, I tore a ligament or the muscle, or I tore something pretty badly in my arm. Like I knew that. And this was early Monday morning. For very complicated reasons, mostly because of the timing, I wasn't able to go to the doctor until Wednesday.
oh my.
And so Wednesday, I go in, and it was one of these situations where, as the expertise of the person you're speaking to increases,
Hmm.
the seriousness of the injury gets worse.
Oh my.
Right. So, first person I talk to, they look at it, you know, they're feeling the arm and they look at it and they're like, you know, I don't think you tore it. I think you just kind of strained it, and you'll probably be better in, you know, a couple of weeks. But just in case, I'll have you go and talk to so and so. And so I go and I talk to the next guy, and he looks at it and he's like, yeah, I don't think it's a complete tear. I think you maybe have a partial tear, but we'll have the surgeon check it out and to really be sure. So the surgeon comes out and he looks at it, you know, 5 seconds. He's like, oh, you totally tore, you know, your bicep tendon. We'll do an MRI to be sure, but I'm pretty sure you tore it. And, you know, surgery is really what you should do. And so they sent me, you know, I had the MRI and then, yep, for sure, you know, the whole thing's torn, right? So that was like Thursday, or like Wednesday, Thursday. And then I was able to have the surgery on Monday. So really quickly.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. It was another one of these funny situations where they've got me in the post or pre-op room, and they've get me hooked up to the IVs and all this stuff. And I'm on the bed and I've got the, you know, IVs in me. I've got the gown on and everything. And the surgeon comes up and says, you know, just so you know, there's a very minor possibility that your arm is going to be completely numb for 6 months after this, but it's probably not going to happen. And it's like, it's way too late for me to do anything at this point. You know, so I'm like, okay, well, just, you know, do your best, right? And so they wheeled me in there, and, you know, and then I wake up later on And fortunately, the surgery went perfect. There were no complications. I didn't have any numbness or anything, which is, they expected a little bit. They expected to sort of irritate the nerves in the arm a little bit, but I didn't get any of it.
Nice.
They wanted to do a nerve block. This might be getting a little too technical, but I mean, they wanted to do a nerve block so you can't feel anything, right? But I didn't want to do that because I was worried that I would, hold my arm in a weird way, and I didn't want to risk screwing anything up further that would affect my guitar playing stuff.
Right.
So, but all in all, I think as surgeries go, it went really, really well. But then I was in a hard cast for a while, and then a brace, and then a sling, and just going through the whole process of healing up. And I couldn't play guitar at all for about 2 months.
Wow.
Which was frustrating.
I'm sure.
But and I had to stay away from the gym, and it was a whole thing was a very long process. I'm finally, now towards the end of the year, my guitar playing came back in about 3 months, and now I've totally healed, and I'm back, back in the gym doing curls and all that fun stuff. And
okay.
So I'm through it now, but it was not a fun experience by any means. Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it. Sounds like a fairly horrific journey, and the fact that it didn't even begin in the gym that's an insult to injury. So I'm sorry you had to go through that, man. By the way, I'm laughing with you. This is not. I'm not.
Oh, I know.
To make fun of your injury. So
I've had a few very, very minor injuries that I've had in the gym, but anything that's been serious has always just, I trip over something, some stupid accident, and this was that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Several years ago, the summer was coming up. The spring semester was ending, and I didn't have a class to teach for about 3 months. And so my son and I had planned to make that the bodybuilding summer. Mm-hmm. And we were both stoked, and we had our routines all laid out. And through something that had nothing to do with the gym, I got a boxer's fracture. Mm-hmm. And and I picked up my hand after I felt it, and I looked at it, and there was raised up about this high, and I thought, oh, okay, that's not good. So that's so much for the bodybuilding summer. So my point here is I understand that process from cast to to sling to we'll just be very careful with it and so forth. So not fun at all. Well, man, I've kept you on the line here for over an hour, and I'm feeling kind of guilty about it. Like I should let you go. I'd like to steal a move from Sammy Hagar's interview thing that he does. Would you mind if I asked you a brief lightning round of responses?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let's see what I got here. Analog or digital?
Digital. I'm a digital guy.
Okay. All right. Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley?
Paul Stanley. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger or Frank Zane?
Well, I mean, I have to go with Schwarzenegger. I mean, Frank Zane is phenomenal. I mean, he's legendary for his symmetry and so forth. But I mean, Schwarzenegger. There's so much there.
Yeah. Okay. We're almost done. Free weights or cables?
Oh, free weights.
Okay. Last one. Space exploration, manned or unmanned?
It has to be manned. It has to be manned.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard all the arguments. I think I've heard all the arguments, and there are some very practical arguments in favor of robotic exploration and so forth. But we need stuff that inspires people, and we need stuff that everybody can get behind and focused on. And the Cassini probe, for all of the wonderful science that it has done, how many people know about that? How many people get excited about that? A few people get really excited about it, but they're a tiny percentage of the overall population. But if we're going to the moon, if we're going to the Mars, and there's people stepping off the lander, everybody's going to be excited about that. So, and that's, I think, one of the most beneficial things of space exploration is how it can unite people, how everybody can get behind it.
Right
And
on.
if there aren't people involved, I don't think you get that.
Okay, that is a great answer. And that idea of some activity or some discovery or whatever that gets everybody's attention, Democrats, Republicans, Whigs, Tories, whatever, strat people, Paul people, that all, can get behind that. Well, all except the conspiracy theorists can get behind that one big cool thing that's sort of inspiring to the culture. All right. Well, Max, hey, thank you very much, man. I really, really appreciate it. So
No problem.